We are live after all, are we not? Yeah, it says we have a stream. Okay. All right. So yeah, if you're here, please do say hello, because then that way I know that things are working as intended. It says that I'm live. And of course I got to make sure that that the stream is made public, which I remember seeing that earlier today that it is public. Interesting. Yeah, do say hello if we have you here, if you'd be so kind. Especially because I actually have something like a bonus for people who showed up today. Boy, that is weird. Let me just make sure that I can actually find my stream. Oh, there's Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Thanks for hopping in here, man. I don't know why nobody. We have people here. We have people here. Oh my gosh, we have people here. Okay. For some reason, it was delayed in informing you guys. Anyway, welcome to the show. Final weekend before we get into the regular season, and I hope you guys are fired up for some hockey to start up this next week. But we're gonna need a lot more people if we want to actually see this thing, actually do some rankings here. Paul, hey, thank you for joining us. And Rails, I'm doing this because of the great idea that you had a couple weeks ago. You said, "What about ranking jersey numbers?" So I thought this would be a fun one to do. Yeah, if anybody else is just joining us, please do say hello. But this does not seem right to me. With normally we have a fair audience right now, so it's almost like people aren't being notified or something. It's not like we have about 25 games going on right now in the NHL or anything like that. Although there's some preseason going on. Anyway, so yeah, I'm joined here with Cortana. Cortana, you gotta put your face in front of the camera there, sweetie. There we go. So she'll be hanging out with us too. Go D-backs. Yeah, good luck to the D-backs. Beat LA. Rails earmuffs. Oh, sorry. Unfortunately, the Twin. I mean, I'm not really watching the baseball playoffs, but I'd be happy if the Twins won, and I'd be happy if the Rangers finally won a World Series because Bruce Bochy's at the helm. All right. Well, this is puzzling. I got to be honest here, but I mean, you know what? I should still probably get into this either way. Let's see here. All right. So we have all of these great jerseys here. So what I'm going to be doing is, as we kind of get to each number, I'm going to read off some of the great NHL players who've worn this number, and shout out, of course, if other hockey players have worn this number that I haven't covered already. And normally we do polls for this, but I'm just going to do it in the chat. So you can put your letter grades in the chat, and then I'll be probably making a more of a judgment call than I usually do for some of these. It's the prediction show. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. This one's way more important than predictions. I mean, who needs those anyway, right? With the Knights gold jersey, the numbers are amazing, but the fabric absorbs Sharpies. Oh, that does sound a wee bit problematic. All right. So we're gonna dive into it, guys. So what do you think? Which tier should number 22 belong in? So we're rating the actual number, not the player whose jersey we're showing here. So number 22, to give you an idea, has been worn by Mike Bossy, who many would consider, before Alex Ovechkin, the greatest goal scorer to ever play in the NHL. Rest in peace. Daniel Sedin, he won a couple major awards wearing 22. Dino Ciccarelli is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Very long career for the North Stars and Capitals, among other teams, Red Wings. And Rick Tocchet actually wore this number for a while as well. Number 22. Not the number design. It's the significance of the number. So, like, imagine if you were on a beer league team and the jerseys just came in, and you got to choose which number you wanted, what number would you want to pick, right? So guys, do you have any thoughts on this? Just to reiterate those names, like legends like Mike Bossy, Daniel Sedin, who's I believe in the Hockey Hall of Fame, Dino Ciccarelli, another Hockey Hall of Famer, and Rick Tocchet have worn this number. You would rank this in the great tier? I mean, certainly the unfortunate passing of Mike Bossy, um, that's fresh in the memory of a lot of hockey fans out there. 22 double deuce. Dan Boyle wore this number with the San Jose Sharks. He was a great puck mover for them. Trying to think if there's anybody else in the NHL who wears this number right now, but yeah, it's not very popular. Not too many people wear it. Kevin Fiala wears 22. Why did I think he wore 27? But he does wear 22. So yeah, what do you guys think of this one? But yeah, man, what the hell? Like nobody's actually getting notified that we're even doing this. All right. All right, you know what we'll do? We got to keep things moving along. So, to me, I at the most I would have this in the great tier. There aren't that many legends who've worn it before, but I do like I like the double deuce. That's a fun one. This next one, though, I think this one might actually land a little bit higher in our rankings. Number 77. What do you guys think? So, 77. Here we have a jersey of Ray Bourque, who wore this both with the Bruins and with the Avalanche when he won that Stanley Cup after 22 years or 21 years. Paul Coffey actually wore this number for part of his career, not for his whole career. Victor Hedman, who is probably the best defenseman of this era of hockey, he has worn 77, and I think that's pretty much his whole career. And even Phil Esposito, I think with the Rangers, wore number 77. So any thoughts here, folks? Did Adam Oates wear this too? I'm not. Yeah, see, Adam Oates was before my time, so I couldn't quite figure out when he was or what numbers he was wearing. What did he wear with the Blues? He wore 12 with the Blues. But yeah, he wore 77 for the latter half of his career. Hall of Famer. Almost Hall of Fame? Yeah, I think this one would have to be at least a cut above. If we're talking about Ray Bourque, Paul Coffey, Adam Oates, and Phil Esposito, I know that again, like this might have been a number that they wore later in their career, but to me, I would personally put that up there. I think that's pretty strong of a contender here. All right, we'll go to the next one. The next one is number 1, and this has typically been worn by goaltenders. So to give you an idea, although it's not worn as much in the NHL today, but Jacques Plante, certainly one of the greatest goaltenders of his era. Johnny Bower, that's the jersey that you see here. Terry Sawchuk for those Red Wings teams that won Stanley Cups in the 1950s. And Bobby Lou, Roberto Luongo, the last real great goaltender to wear that number. Thomas Greiss had a good career too, but he wasn't Bobby Lou. What are we ranking? Jersey numbers. So in other words, like how special are the numbers themselves? Like if somebody gave you a bunch of different blank jersey, or excuse me, like a beer league. Let's say you were in a beer league and all the teams' uniforms came in. Like what jersey would you pick? Because they're all the same, but the numbers are different, right? So what number would you want? Good but not great. For number 1. Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird to see that in the NHL today. It's very rare that you see a number that's like below 5, I think. But I mean, some great goaltenders have worn it. You'd say it would be in B tier? I think it holds its own against. Personally, I think it holds its own against number 22. Maybe not the greatest number per se, but it's got more significance in the NHL. I think I'd probably put it right about. I might even rank it ahead of 22, but based on where we put 22 to start things out, I'm going to put it right here, but like toward the end of the tier. All right, the next one we have is number. It's good for a goalie, not for a skater. Yeah, B plus. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. We've got ourselves Martin Brodeur's number 30. So he's worn it, as has Henrik Lundqvist and Ed Belfour. So you could say that really in the 1990s, we start to see goaltenders more commonly wear numbers in the 30s. Straight up iconic. I mean, you see here that we have a few numbers that are in the 30s, right? So it'll be challenging to figure out which one's the best. I thought about 39 for Dominik Hasek, but really there hasn't been any other Hall of Famer to wear that number, or not many of them. You're thinking iconic, huh? All right, well, I'll put it almost in the Hall of Fame because we're talking about what Lundqvist, Belfour. That's pretty high up. I don't know. I might put it at the front of the A tier here. At least 2 Hall of Famers with number 30. All right, maybe we'll move it up. Maybe we'll move it up later. But I mean, we're gonna have some really good ones here too. All right, now we get to number 7. So here you can see the Paul Coffey jersey for when he played for the Oilers. This was worn by Phil Esposito with the Bruins, Rod Gilbert, and Tim Horton, among others. Some numbers are just meant to be goalie numbers. Yeah, I mean, like the 30s, right? It's basically anybody who has the number 30 to 35 is usually a goaltender, right? It's very rare that a skater will actually wear a number different, or that sort of range of numbers on their jersey. 7 stuff. I mean, like 7's a good number. Even if you look outside the NHL, if you're going to have a single digit number, I think it's got to be either 7 or 9 personally. It would be almost Hall of Fame. All right. Let's put it there. It's pretty good. And Keith Kachuk wore that number. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you know what? We'll bump 30 up into iconic to start out. Number 1 is supposed to be saved for the mascot. Yeah, unless you know, mascots have all sorts of things on their back, but yeah, because of Bobby Orr. Well, Orr wore number 4. Let's go to 96. Now here, I wanted to, again, kind of like with the motif of, it's not just the NHL, but here we have Charlie Conway's number from the Mighty Ducks. I wanted to have some fun with that, right? Like 96 was Conway. Mikko Rantanen wears number 96. Trying to think if there's somebody else like really talented. Thomas Holmstrom for the Red Wings back in the day, as they used to call him the Mule. No, or was that Franzen? Maybe that was Franzen. But yeah, Holmstrom wore number 96 too. Does Jesse Pollock wear number 96? Surprised he doesn't wear whatever Jeff Bukaboom wore. Howler's number 96? Oh, okay. Of course, that was the year that the old Winnipeg Jets moved to Phoenix. I do remember that. I went to a game their second season. Oh, that's right. Bure also wore 96. He also wore what, number 10? That's pretty good, actually. I don't know. I want to say that I kind of want to put this up here, at least here. if we're talking about Pavel Bure and something that transcends the NHL here, I kind of want to put it there. Oh, crikey. All right, let's go to Fabian Brunstrom. I have no idea who that even was. Jesse Worth 69. Okay, well that makes a little bit more sense to me. Hey, what's up, Xander? All right, let's rank number 35. So here we have Tony Esposito. Some other legends to wear this number include Mike Richter, Stanley Cup winning goaltender with the Rangers in 1994 and Hall of Famer. In addition to Tom Barrasso, who was the goaltender for the um, Pittsburgh Penguins in their back-to-back Stanley Cup runs. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. Yep, just pretty much a goalie number. I can't think of any really good skaters who have worn this number. You're thinking this is more C tier? Oh wow, you actually like putting it up high. The thing is that like you haven't seen a goaltender really wear 35 recently who just absolutely kills it, right? Who wears 35 right now? Pecorine wore 35. Let's not forget. A tier for goalie numbers. I mean, we could, but where does it fall? Like actually in the order of things, right? But yeah, Rene wore 35, but not too many goaltenders these days do it. All right, you know what? We're gonna for now we'll throw it in C. Again, C is still good. These are all good numbers, right? But it probably won't won't move further to the right because it's better. It's almost good enough to be in the great. It's pretty close. All right, now we've got number 29. Number 29 is a great one. Here we have, of course, Marc-Andre Fleury, but Ken Dryden, who some might argue is the greatest goaltender of at least his era, because he won 5 Stanley Cups in like 8 years and 5 Vezina trophies or something like that. Nathan MacKinnon has worn this. Leon Draisaitl. So some of the great players today have worn number 29. Felix the Cat Potvin. I remember certainly a favorite of Steve Dangle back in the day. A or B? I since it has some lasting or it has more relevance today, I think I'll put it up in A. Have any other goaltenders wore 29? I'm sure there have probably been a couple. All right, let's go to the next one, and that is number 99. So what do you guys make of this? I mean, like Gretzky is the only one to pretty much ever wear 99, at least in the NHL. I don't know how else it's been used. So the question is like, do we rank it low because he's the only one who's worn it, or do we have to put it at the very top because nobody else is allowed to wear it? Adam Banks wore 99 in the Mighty Ducks. See, this is why I'm glad you're here. No question, Contra. Let's throw it up an S. All right. Perfect. But you know what I think might even have to rank higher than it is number 9 because Wayne Gretzky, he wore number 9 growing up because of Gordie Howe. So number 9 was worn by Gordie Howe. And if you want to talk about, the most iconic figures in hockey of all time, Maurice Richard, the Rocket, wore number 9. I think Johnny Busick, Bobby Hull, the pioneer of the slap shot, Mike Modano, if we're talking about great American players. Zach Parise. Yeah. Paul Correa, good call. Yeah. We're gonna put this in S. Yeah, but does this rank higher than Gretzky's number? Jack Eichel. Yeah, that's right. He wore 15 for a while there. Adrian Kempe, Steve Ott. Oh no, oh no, we can't even rank this if Steve Ott wore it. I couldn't stand Steve Ott. All right. To me, though, since it actually has an influence on Gretzky wearing 99, I think this has to actually go in the very top. And it was worn by Gordie Howe, and Gordie Howe is Mr. Hockey. To me, I think that it's kind of the cream of the crop here. You would say A? I mean, yeah, some other players who aren't in the Hall of Fame have certainly worn it. Oh, hey, Theo, how you doing, man? All right. Now we get to number 16. Gordon did Bombay wear number did he wear number 9 with the mini haha waves? All right, so let's go to 16 here. We've got a Brett Hull jersey, Bobby Clark, the figure or the anchor of the Broad Street Bullies, Marcel Dion, who a lot of people would argue is the greatest skater to never win a Stanley Cup, or certainly up there. And Captain Canuck himself, Trevor Linden, have worn number 16. Devin Setaguchi, let's not forget, has worn number 16. Who else has worn 16? Oh, yeah, Mitch Marner. It was interesting because earlier I was saying that, yeah, Barkov. I was saying that, yeah, with numbers between 30 and 35, those are almost always goalies. One of the exceptions is Matthews. Pat Verbeek, the little ball of hate, and now general manager of the Anaheim Ducks. So, John, you said B tier. I mean, these are all great players. You have some Hall of Famers and maybe a couple of players who could make the Hall of Fame eventually. And Brett Hull, he's certainly one of the greatest, at the worst, 10 goal scorers of all time. Marcel Dion, right? It's just a shame that he didn't play on like a great team. I think that B tier would be okay for this one, but I would say it's probably got to rank a little bit higher than these other ones. I think it's one of the better B tiers out of this group. All right, guys, let's go to the next one. So this one's interesting because really not too many players have worn 68 that are memorable. But with Jaromir Jagr, it's his longevity and the number of teams that he played for that gives the number, I think, even more lasting power. And I also put 68 on here because Riley and Letterkenny actually wears 68 in season 1. Yeah, Mike Hoffman. I mean, Mike Hoffman was a dangerous goal scorer for a few seasons there. And Melker Carlson for any Sharks fans out there, right, Xander? But yeah, those are the 68s that I remember. Paul, you say it's got to be an A? Anybody else have any thoughts on this? Hoffman was actually pretty good for the Blues initially, or at least on the power play. He was tearing it up. I can't believe the Sharks actually have him now. That's so funny. You would say B on this? High B? I think that, yeah, that can kind of straddle the line between B and A. The only reason why with Yager is because, again, like not too many, Hall of Fame caliber players have worn this, but Yager alone has made this one of the most memorable. I mean, like really 68 in other sports. Can you name a great 68 in football? An offensive lineman? Not too many people can do that, right? So, boom, we'll put him right there at the top of the B. All right, next up we have number 81, and we got ourselves a Phil Kessel jersey. He's not necessarily the best player, but I just decided to choose his jersey. So here we are with number 81. This has been worn by the likes of Marian Hossa, Miroslav Shatan, Jonathan Marchessault, the Conn Smythe winner from this last playoffs. 81. But this one's not landing very very high up there for Paul. Eventually, we'll get to 91. That one's got a little bit more weight behind it, I think. We're gonna go with C. All right. Yeah, I mean, Host is in the Hall of Fame, but there are definitely other legends who I think are more top of mind than he is. 81's a little wonky. I don't know. I'm fine putting it in C as well, even though again, like all these numbers have great players attached to them for the most part. All right, now we get to number 10, and of course, rest in peace to the legend Guy Lafleur. Pavel Bure also wore number 10. Ron Francis, I can't remember if he wore it with both the Hurricanes and the Whalers and the Penguins. But yeah, Ron Francis, of course, he's like second on the all-time assists list, and George Armstrong, who was certainly before my time. Number 10. Who else has worn number 10? You're thinking B here? Andy McDonald. No, I remember the skateboarder Andy McDonald better than I do the player, but I remember the name. Braden Shen, very good career he's had. Alex Del Vecchio, ooh, good call. Tony Monti, yeah. He's not in the Hall of Fame, is he? No, he's not in the Hall of Fame. 900 points. Yeah. I'm gonna slide this in the B tier. I think kind of like Lafleur, or kind of like with Yager. Number 10. It's hard not to think of Guy Lafleur immediately, but Alex Del Vecchio being in that list or in this group as well, I think that should vault it to right about there. All right, now let's get to number 2. You don't see too many players wearing it these days, but I mean, some pretty great legends of the game have worn it. So here we have Brian Leach, Bruins defenseman Eddie Shore, Duncan Keith, who probably has a trip to the Hall of Fame. He has, I think, 2 Norris trophies, and Doug Harvey. Yeah, Luke Shen wears this one. Trying to think of who else we have here. Hmm. So you're thinking B. Hmm. Yeah, I used to wear usually I wore between 12 and 14. It was either 12, 13, or 14. And at times I would actually just say, no, 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 I want number 13 when nobody would want to pick it. High B, low A. Al McInnes. Ooh, yeah. Good point. Interesting. So it's been a very popular number for top defensemen. So if we're talking about what? McInnes, Shore, Leach, and Keith. I don't want to put it ahead of Yager and Lafleur, but those are 4 Hall of Fame defensemen essentially. I'm gonna put this in A. I'll put it at the end of the A tier though. B or C. I don't know. I think that this has that's a pretty good legacy in the NHL. All right, I'm gonna next list off number 66. Number 66, and with the exception of Josh Hosang, the only other guy who I can name is right there. The magnificent one, Mario Lemieux. And I have a Robo Penguin jersey with his number on it. Back in the good old days when I could actually buy jerseys. Very high A. I mean, again, nobody's wearing this number. So I think it has to maybe get into the S tier. Gino Oddchick. Well, I have no idea who that even is. You guys are saying though in the A? All right. RB Pizza Hut, how we doing? Terve ya tervetuloa. Yeah, I know you found my stream. Dude, nobody like YouTube did not tell people that I'm doing a live stream. I have 9,600 subscribers. How the freaking hell is it doing this? It's maddening, dude. I gotta write to them. Because I can't call them because they won't let you talk to anybody. You missed the Calgary live stream. Yeah, dude. I have a feeling that yeah, there's some dirty games going on behind the scenes. All right, he played on the Canucks. Hmm. Yeah, I can't say I might have heard his name at some point. All right, we'll put Lemieux at the front of the A tier. Best enforcer, Canucks enforcer. Oh, well, shoot. Now I have to look at this. The only one I can think of immediately is, uh, you know, did Brashear play with the Canucks? I'm sorry if I forget, but of course Kevin Pieksa, that son of a gun. Let's see here. Perfect spot for 66. All right. Now we've got number 88. This is one of my favorites. 88 is one of my favorites. Even though I was born in 87, I love 88 because we're talking about some great players from this era. We've got Patrick Kane, maybe the best American-born player of all time. You've got Eric Lindros, who, his career was cut kind of short, but he still made the Hall of Fame and was just a beast on the ice. Andrei Vasilevsky, probably the best postseason goaltender since Patrick Waugh. And don't forget, for many, many years in San Jose, the one and only future Hall of Famer, Brent Burns, wore 88. No. We've got all sorts of eras covered here. Thorns of Chaos. Rick, there you are. Hello. 88 should be S. Nice Ducks jersey. Yeah, man. Oh god. Let's just do the full show here. I love this thing. Look at this. Gotta show the logo. Look at this beauty. Right? And we got Temu on it. In actual fabric. It's maybe my favorite jersey that I own. Yeah, Temu, exactly. It's a thing of beauty. Oh, you also have this one, Rick. Nice. Mid A for 88. I think it's pretty high up. It's a bit of a recency bias with like Kane and Vasilevsky and Burns. But I would say it's the best jersey number. It's the best 80s number. I know Sid's 87, but not too many other great players have worn 87. So I want to put this pretty damn high up. I think right about here this is about where I want it, I think. Or a C. Really? Okay, then we'll move it over to here then. That's about right. All right. Yeah, that's true, John. Is 87 on this list? No, it's not. Again, it's I got like Yager, Lemieux, and Gretzky are pretty much the only ones who've worn that specific number. I think that's enough of instances like that. Sid's not inducted in the Hall of Fame just yet. I mean, Yager technically isn't either, but anyway. 97 we will have 97 on here though. All right, what do you guys think? 97 has anybody else besides McDavid worn this? Jeremy Roenick, who arguably could be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Roenick, let's take a look at his numbers here. 1,363 games played. He has over 500 goals, 513 for 1,216 points. Although he did not wear 97 until he arrived in Arizona, because He wore 27 mostly with the Blackhawks. He wore 51 in his first year. But yeah, 97 is what he wore with the Coyotes, the Flyers, and oh yeah, he was briefly a King. I forgot about that. Uh all right, all right. Thornton wore it. Yeah, Thornton wore it with what, the Leafs and the Panthers? Or did he just wear, I forget. Did he wear 97 with the Panthers? I mean, it doesn't really matter because he really didn't do anything for them. Oh no, he wore 19 with Florida. Okay. And then Kachuk came. All right. All right. So where are we gonna put this one, guys? Easy S for 97. I don't there aren't enough players though who've worn this number. I know McDavid's gonna go down as one of the all-time greats. Let's see here. Oh, that's quite the compliment there, Pizza Hut. B bordering A. Here, come here. Lie down. No, down. All right, all right. I'm gonna say that this goes kind of like what we were talking about with Yager Lafleur, right? Like 10 is synonymous mostly with Guy Lafleur. There aren't too many other players that come to mind immediately. Pavel Bure, sure. Jaromir Yager, nobody touches 68 in the NHL, right? No really amazing player. So here we don't have that many players that have been Hall of Fame worthy. So that's why I'm going to keep it in B versus like A. And this is entirely subjective, right? So what good do I know? But it was a great suggestion from LA Basin Rails, so I wanted to do this. All right, next up we have number 11. And for a lot of people, the first player that would come to mind is Marc Messier. Gilbert Perreault, the first overall pick in 1970, wore this number, as did Daniel Alfredson. '11 is more of a soccer number. Yeah, I don't know I can't think of too many players who are wearing 11. Do I have anybody who wears 11? I'm pretty sure I don't. Oh, he was here earlier, John. Hey, no. Mid C. Yeah, I think that even though Messier is great, Alfredson, Hall of Famer, sure, but I don't think I would put it much higher either. All right, that's cool. Let's go to our next one here, and that is number 21. Huberdeau. Oh, good point. I used to think so. Like a year ago, I made a video on who I thought were future Hall of Famers who were still in the NHL, and Huberdeau was on my list. It was like top 25. After his season last year, he's got some work ahead of him, right? All right. Now we get to number 21. So this is probably synonymous above all with Stan Mikita or Peter Forsberg, the late great Borja Salming for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Hall of Famer Guy Carbonneau wore 21. I don't know if he wore that for his whole career though. Did he? Carbonneau. I can't think of it. I can't say his name without thinking about pasta. He wore 21 for nearly his whole career, just with the exception of 1 year. But yeah, he won a Stanley Cup with the Dallas Stars wearing this number. No, they haven't been here, John. I have a feeling, man. I have a feeling that well, first of all, Nick's at Windy City Hockey is actually at the Blackhawks game right now. Uh he's going to that. I think he is. Hey, what's up, Dean? This would be a C to you guys? Really? 21 is one of my favorite numbers though. But hey, I can put that aside, right? 21 is more of like a cornerback in football. I think that this could Nick Cousins. Okay, because his name is Nick, we're gonna put it in the B tier. All right. Well, if nobody has any real special attachment to this, then we'll put it in C tier. How's Idaho? Uh, it's been a clear day, which this time of year you get very few clear days. What's 9 plus 10? I don't know what you mean by that, but it's one of the greatest hockey jersey numbers of all time. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah, prime time. All right, cool. Let's go to number 4. Yeah, buddy. Number 4. You can't think like immediately. It's Bobby Orr, unless you're a Devils fan. Scott Stevens, or maybe a Canadiens fan. Jean Beliveau, who how many cups has he won? Jean Beliveau won like a bazillion cups. The late great Red Kelly, and somebody who's not in the Hall of Fame but kind of borderline Hall of Fame, Vincent Lecavalier. So Bobby Orr and Scott Stevens and Jean Beliveau have worn this number. Simply iconic. Mid A or high B. Theo says A. How can you get to know the players? What would be the easiest way to do that? I mean, NHL Network has a lot of content that can help people get into the sport in terms of like being familiar with the players. But if you haven't watched my video yet, I made kind of a fan guide for this year about like which team to cheer for. So I do talk about some of the big name players there. You can look at that and my season predictions. Of course, that's me promoting my channel, but a lot of people say that they are just getting into the sport and they find my content helpful. So maybe I'll start you with that. Back in the iconic tier, and guys, I personally have to think that this is iconic too. If Martin Brodeur's number 30 is iconic, the number 4, which was worn by his captain for those 3 Stanley Cups, Scott Stevens, not to mention the great Bobby Orr, this has to go in S tier. I think it is iconic. Hall of Famer Kevin Lowe. Hey guys, like check this out. This is how cool you guys are. Nick's not the first person to do this, but as probably my oldest viewer by when he first discovered my channel, he's at a freaking hockey game right now, about to watch Connor Bedard, and he decided to pop in and say hello to us. How awesome is that? And speaking of Connor Bedard, I'm actually going to be breaking down some of the cool things that I've observed with his play so far in the preseason. I hope that I can publish that video tomorrow. So we'll do a little Connor Bedard analysis. Not to mention, Nick has been a member of this channel for a full year now. So thank you. Congratulations on hitting a year. By the way, guys, I didn't even mention this. See the pinned comment, my pinned chat message. Guys, I have a bonus video for you. Normally, I would just release this to my members, but because you're here, we're talking about jerseys. I have a video right there that you can watch. I'm reacting to some hand-drawn jersey concepts from one of our channel moderators. His name is Dan. You guys know Dan P. Absolutely go check that out if you have some time to kill. But yeah, it's a jersey concept review. I wanted to release that just for you guys. So it's an Easter egg. So your reward for showing up today is you get a video that the rest of the channel, unless they're a member, they won't see it. So there's a little bonus for you guys. RB Pizza, hey, I appreciate that. I personally just appoint my mods on a per need basis. So the way I have it right now, we're perfectly set. But eventually, if this channel blows up more, maybe I'll need some more assistance. So thank you for asking about that. All right, no Bedard tonight. Okay, good. So I already have all the footage I need of him. So yeah, you guys get all that bonus stuff there in the pin message. And I got to just quickly do this before we go to the next number because I don't want to get through the end of this and then forget. So I have to just keep repeating this stuff because I read in a book that people who are in leadership positions are successful by repeating themselves a bunch. So I'm going to follow that. But also, for those of you who don't know, first of all, I'll start with this one. I'm sure a lot of you already know, but we do have a Discord community. So This is where you can pop into our various rooms and chat with fans of your favorite teams. We have other rooms for things like posting pictures of our, merchandise and our jerseys and our autographs. It's a good place if you want people to follow your social media accounts to post your photos from that, photos and videos from the games that you've gone to. So you can see a link to that in the video description. You just click on that. It's free to join, right? There's no big barrier to entry. So we'd love to have you on there, especially when you're waiting for me to upload a video or do a live stream. And then, my friends, we just released our video content on Spotify in podcast form. So if you ever see my videos that are 30 plus minutes long and you're like, damn, I do not have that kind of time on my hands. Well, you can just go over to Spotify. I mean, really, in an ideal world, you do both. But you go to Spotify and you can, throw on your headphones while you're mowing the lawn or raking the leaves or, tuning out somebody who's just being really obnoxious while you're waiting for the doctor. And you can listen to Twisted Wrister Hockey right here on the one and only Spotify. So go check that out. All right. Cool. Thanks for entertaining my PSA. All right. Now we get number 74. And you know what? This is probably the weakest entry. Probably the weakest entry here. I love TJ Oshie, but he is probably more of a Capitals legend at this point. John Carlson has worn number 74. I put this in there because in Letterkenny, Jonesy wears 74. So we got Riley who wore 68. Jonesy wears 74. So I think I have an opinion on this already, but I decided to throw it in there for some fun. 74 does not ring a bell. Yeah, you know what? That's completely fair to say. Ethan Bear, yeah, that's true. 74 is more of like an offensive lineman in football, or maybe a defensive lineman. You might see somebody with that number. Yeah, you don't really think of anyone else. I mean, hey, John Carlson's been a Norris Trophy finalist, but you know what? I think that's completely fair, Paul. I'm not gonna be salty about that at all. Hmm. But yeah, a C. Okay, that's fair. We'll just put this in C. All right, but I have a feeling we should not put this next one in C. Excuse me, because now we're talking about the Great Eight, and of course, as I showed you guys earlier, I'm rocking my. Well, you can't really see it too well here. I got my Teemu Selänne, right? Joe Pavelski for the Sharks for a number of years. Seabass, Cam Neely wore this number, and Drew Doughty. So the greatest goal scorer of all time, and some great Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers as part of this as well. You'd put this in S tier. Frank Finnegan. I can't say that I know who he is. Paul says B tier. I mean, again, like 8, there's one player who comes to mind immediately. But I mean, past that, since we have Teemu and we also have, a couple other possible Hall of Famers, right? Doughty has a Norris and a couple Stanley Cups. Cam Neely. Is Cam Neely a Hall of Famer? I think he is, right? He was before my time watching the sport. So Cam Neely, Hockey Hall of Famer as well. All right, we got all kinds of ratings here. So high S. Wow, you guys are saying S, B. Tamu, you think of him wearing 13 than 8? That's true. I mean, he did also wear 13. But was that just with San Jose though? Oops. So Tamu wore 13 with Winnipeg, that's right. And then he wore it. He did actually wear it in Anaheim briefly. He wore 8 with the Ducks. He wore 8 with every team he played for, just at different times. All right. I'm going to say this will go. If Lemieux went in A tier, I think Ovi's got to be right there too. It's pretty damn close. Because 8 is still worn today. I don't know. Oh yeah, Cale Makar. Okay, that it goes in S tier then. Makar's amazing. That's robbery. Highway robbery. Called a cop. He robbed him. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to the goat, guys. Rick Generate, rest in peace. All right, all right. Now we got number 5. Number 5, Denny Potvin, Nick Lidstrom, Guy Lapointe. Those are legends of the game, certainly, and of course, a couple of tremendous defensemen. It's more of a defenseman's number. I think. What does Connor Murphy wear number 5? Anyway, Guy Lapointe. Those of you who don't recall, because he played from '69, nice, until 1984. He wore number 5 with the Montreal Canadiens for 12 years. He won 6 Stanley Cups. As a defenseman in 884 games, he scored 622 points, had a plus 329 rating. Albert Pujols, hockey jerseys, man. A or a high B? Bobby Plager? Didn't he? No, actually, I'm getting him confused with somebody else. S tier? High A or B? Any other opinions on this? B or C? B? Yeah, this is a range of opinions. I mean, if we're talking about Duncan Keith and Brian Leach and Eddie Shore, and on the other side you have Denny Potvin, Nick Lidstrom, and Guy Lapointe, I cannot put this any lower than A personally. But I'll put it toward the end of the A tier. All right. All right, now, ooh, this one's good. Patrick Waugh, number 33. Number 33 has been worn by him, Zdeno Chara, one of the great defensemen that we've seen in our lifetime, and Henrik Sedin as well. This is S tier, couple A's, but it's still truly a goalie number. Yeah, for the most part, I think you're right. Goldberg, yes, Goldberg. Mm-hmm. I read that in my head in Goldberg. Patrick Waugh alone should put this in S. And now correct me if I'm wrong, but Waugh wore this number with Montreal too, right? Yeah, he always wore number 33. Okay. Boy, that's an S. All right. All right. We'll put this up in S. That sounds good to me. All right. Now we have number 31. Wait, sorry. 31. There we go. 31, Carey Price, Billy Smith, the goaltender for the Islanders for all 4 of their Stanley Cups, the legendary Grant Fuhr, and you see a lot of goaltenders wear 31 today, like Igor Shesterkin, who a lot of people would say is the best goalie in the NHL. Excuse me. Sorokin wears what, 30? Yeah. I didn't put 37 in here. Maybe I should have for like Bergeron and Hellebuck. Mid B, maybe A, B. Still a really good group of players, but not a whole lot of them, right? All right, I would be content putting this in B. Right down the middle, eh? Right there. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe about there. Let's go with that. All right, now the most important one. Andrew Desjardins, 69. 69, also worn by, of course, Shorzy. And let's not forget Doug the Thug Glatt. Jesse Pollock, yeah. But, I don't think in, Trailer Park Boys, they don't actually have numbers on their jerseys, do they? Yeah. I don't worry, I wouldn't forget Doug Glatt. Yeah, I didn't put number 3 in here because there weren't that many legends who wore number 3, um, in, on the subject of Goon. That's what Ross Ray wears in that. Uh, 69 only goes in B. But yeah, the only, like, notable player I could think of in the NHL who's worn 69 is, you know, um, Andrew Desjardins, who played for, like, the Blackhawks and the Sharks. Any more opinions on this one here, fellas? All right, well, I mean, like, it either goes in the bottom or it goes at the very top here. Is that a Minnesota reverse retro? No, it's, so in Letterkenny, there's a team that basically wears the old North Stars jersey. B, because it's funny. Just put it like, I don't know. We'll put it right here. All right. Now we get to number 27. So here we have Daryl Sittler, one of the all-time greats in Toronto Maple Leafs franchise history. 27 was also worn by Jeremy Roenick with the Chicago Blackhawks. Pete Mahovlich, who won a few Stanley Cups of his own, and Scott Niedermayer, one of the great defensemen of the 1990s into the aughts. You're building a bed. Oh, snap. Well, that does take a little bit of time, doesn't it? Alex Kovalev, Eetu Olostarinen. Yeah, this one's a little tricky. A little tricky. Daryl Sittler, Pete Mahovlich, Scott Niedermayer, Jeremy Roenick. All right, should we put this? Are you guys saying that we should put this in A? John's thinking, oh yeah, Ryan McDonough. Great career Ryan McDonough has had. Now, is McDonough still wearing 27 with the Predators? Speaking of former Lightning players, I know that we have 21 in C. Don't forget Braden Point wears that. But yeah, I think yeah, McDonough still wears 27. High B, A. I'll give this a good. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got what A or high B, B. Okay, all right. Yeah, well, this will probably go in B. I think it should be right around here, probably. Yeah. All right. Now we go to 91. 91 has been really hard D. Maybe I should have done that, John. Good point. Let's see here. Yeah, 91 has been kind of the number of the last 15 years or so. Well, obviously because players were born in 91 chose that number. So, but before that, don't forget it was Sergei Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov made 91. Then it was John Tavares and Steven Stamkos, Vladimir Tarasenko as well. Who else wears 91? I'm really bad at identifying players by what numbers they wear. But I mean, Stamkos is probably going to make the Hall of Fame. And again, Fedorov was, uh, it's almost like Fedorov was kind of underrated just because of, that era of Yzerman and Lidstrom. Tyler Seguin. Yeah. I mean, Tyler Seguin was one of the top scorers for a few years there. A or S. Kadri, yeah, he's had a very good career. Although he also wore what 43 for a lot of his career. Your eye is itchy. I don't know if staring at a screen is going to help. Any tips to remove the eye itch? I don't know, chat. You're gonna have to let me know, guys, because unfortunately I don't have much experience to. I guess more like fortunately I don't have much experience to draw from. All right, we'll put 91 in A. I'm gonna put it like right about. I don't think it goes as. I would personally put it toward the end of that tier, but a couple people liked it for S, so I'll put it right here, right here. Lemon juice, says Jet. Yeah, lemon juice can really help with a lot of things. All right, our final number here is number 19, and we got ourselves Steve Eiserman, Jonathan Taves, three-time Stanley Cup winner, Joe Sakic, Burnaby Joe, Jumbo Joe Thornton, Brian Trottier, the all-time leading scorer on the New York Islanders. A or S? A, S, A. Kachuk, yeah, Matthew Kachuk. Mm-hmm. I mean, this number has been definitely popularized in the time that I grew up with Eiserman and Sakic, and then later with Thornton with the Sharks and Jonathan Taves. So I mean, there's certainly a bias from my side of things. And I know a couple of people said A, but I mean, like, dude, this is one hell of a group. I got to put this in S. I kind of want to put it right about here, honestly. I think that's a great place for it to land. Vladimir Sobotka. All right, and I mean this we were almost symmetrical here. Almost, but no, I think that we needed to have a good long S tier here. Look at that. I mean, number 9, Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr, Scott Stevens as well. We just talked about 19. Martin Brodeur, not the only legend who's worn that number. Henrik Lundqvist and Eddie the Eagle Belfour. Those are some of the greatest goaltenders of my lifetime. 8 for Alex Ovechkin and Teemu Selänne, and 33 for Patrick Waugh and Zdeno Chara. You know, though, I'm gonna bump it. 33. Yeah. I'm actually going to bump this down though. I'm gonna bump Waugh 33 down to A tier. I just don't think it quite hangs with these 6 up here. Oops. There. Yeah, Tage Thompson is 72. Yeah. He's also what? I was like, wait, Tage Thompson is he's 80 inches tall because he's 6'8". Move Conway behind 22. Yeah, not as many people were feeling number 1 when we did this. All right, we can do that. And Rantanen, don't forget, right? You're from Finland. You like Mikko Rantanen. Don't see number 13. Yeah, I thought about that too. I kept it to like an even 30 numbers here. And I know Teemu wore 13, but that was a briefer time in his career. But yeah, 13 is pretty much synonymous with Pavel Datsyuk yeah. And 34, yeah, I mean that's who else is 34 besides Matthews? Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's gonna do it for this one. Do hit the thumbs up too if you could, please, because that'll tell YouTube to maybe actually tell people that I'm live. Brian Elliott. Actually, he was hella good for a while there. Not entirely sure if I'll be live on Tuesday, but maybe so for the opening night. If I did, it would probably be during the Kraken Golden Knights game, just so I could be on the evening game. And as I mentioned earlier, you already probably saw it, most of you, but we do have the Discord community, and now Twisted Wrister content is available on Spotify. So just see the video description below for links to that sort of thing. Liga Gold Horns. Hey man, RB Pizza Hut. If you know where I can find those gold horns, just send me a list of all the horns in an email, and I might be able to make something for that. All right. Favorite team? Oh, well, I see the Raiders badge there. I don't know if I want to if you're going to be very impressed with me saying this, but I'm a Sharks fan. I'm basically from San Jose, so big time Sharks fan. But of course, with us being complete garbage this year and for the next couple of years, my next favorite team is the Hurricanes. So let's go Canes! 2024 Stanley Cup champions, please make it happen. Yep. Yeah. So and then the Panthers have been dear to me for a few years. The Sabres are the Sabres are definitely creeping up now that they're going to be fun to watch. So yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully we can do another one like this, pretty soon. Like I said, maybe Tuesday. And don't forget, guys, the pinned chat message has a link to a bonus video for you guys as a reward for showing up to this. We're going to be ranking some jersey concepts that were hand drawn in that video. All right, send them in Discord. Oh yeah, that's completely fine. Absolutely. Actually, you know what I might do? If I do those reactions, I might actually make that video and post it just on Discord alone. So there you go. All right, guys, have a good rest of your weekend here, and I'll see you again soon enough. Hopefully a video tomorrow looking at Connor Bedard's preseason.